Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we are doing another watercolor Christmas card project. And this week we are going to create a card with a botanical border in watercolor, and we're going to do some evergreens and some berries. So if you're interested in seeing how I do that, then keep on watching. I'm starting out by making some lines on my paper with a ruler. I'm going to make one for the top and one for the bottom. And so we're doing a bit of a border style card, but not the typical four-sided border. We're going to do two lines and then have botanicals coming out of the top and bottom. And I'm going to use some washi tape to tape those lines off, just so that I don't get any paint into the middle area where I want to put the writing. So you could use any type of washi tape is great, just because it comes off really easily and does not tear your paper. Now what I'm doing is just drawing some lines on the top and bottom coming out from where I've taped off, just to kind of get a bit of placement for where I'm going to put my evergreen and berry branches. You don't have to do this part, and I didn't follow all the lines as I painted, but it is helpful for layout. I'm starting off with the fir branch, and I've drawn a line with my brown paint, and now I'm taking my brush and I'm just doing short little line or flick movements to indicate the needles. And I'm not being super precise for this, just because I'm going to be drawing so many or painting so many that it's all going to kind of blend together. And you're not going to look at the fine detail of every single little piece of foliage that we're painting. And I'm going to switch between working on the top and the bottom, and you could also turn your paper upside down if that's easier for you, to make the needles. The sort of pulling down motion often is an easier way to make a thin line. So I'm just going around on the top and bottom, and I'm kind of working with one type of foliage at a time. So I'm adding in all the fir branches right now, and then I'll move on to another type of foliage. And what I've done there is just added a really pale fir branch in. I still want to make sure, as usual, that I vary the colors and concentrations of my paint. And now I'm moving on to the sort of boxwood style of leaf and sprig that I'm adding into this project. So I've done a thin line of green, and then I'm using the tip of my brush and the shape of the brush to just create simple little leaf shapes. And this is sort of the look that you would get from something like boxwood. And again, I'm making sure some of the leaves are darker, and then I'm dipping my brush in the water, dabbing it on the paper towel, and also creating some paler leaves. Now I'm starting to paint the berries, and I've used a brown and added a bit of purple to draw the stem. And I've just gone ahead and drawn the stem, and now I'm using a red, I think it's a alizarin crimson, to draw the berries. And I'm drawing painting some of the berries over top of what I've painted, which is fine, because it's pretty pale and the red is darker. And I'm using these berries as sort of the final filler for my design. So anywhere I think that I need a little bit more balance and some brightness, then I'm going to first draw or paint the stem in and then go ahead and add the berries. And this is sort of the final way to balance out the look of your botanical border, as well as add a bit more color and contrast with the red berries. Now that I've finished up the top area, I'm going to continue with filling out the botanicals on the bottom. So once again, I'm working in the order of creating all the fir sprigs, then I'll do the boxwood, and then I'll add the berries. And the one I'm working on right now is a darker sprig of fir, but I'll make sure that I rinse my brush and create some paler ones as well. Now that I've added in the fir branches, I'm starting back into adding the boxwood, same way, creating the green line and then adding leaves using the shape of my brush. And I'm using a number 3 round brush for most of this project. Now I'm ready to add the berries to the bottom portion. So I'm just going through and adding the stems using the brown mix that I added the purple to. And right now what I'm doing is drawing them in, and I'm making sure some of the stems go over top of the greenery and then some of them sort of skip over the greenery so they look like they're behind. And this will add more interest and depth to your botanical border. Now I'm ready to take off the tape. This is the fun part, so just make sure you do it gently so you don't wreck the paper. And just one strip at a time, and you can see that it's created a really nice crisp line for me. And just slowly peel it off. And now you have this wonderful white space that you can write a Christmas greeting in. And what I'm doing now is just taking my white eraser. I made sure with the hairdryer that my painting is completely dry. I'm just cleaning up any lines that I'd made to create the tape lines or the little lines I put in right at the beginning for where I wanted to place the plants. Now what I'm doing with my mechanical pencil is creating my Christmas greeting, and I'm going to write Merry Christmas in French and something sort of common to do in Canada. So I'm going to do Joyeux Noël, and I'm just doing it in pencil, and then I'm going to go over with my Pigma Micron pen, which is a waterproof pen. And I'm definitely not a expert hand letterer. I've never really liked my writing or printing, but I'm making my best effort. And so I'm just slowly going over my pencil printing, and I just did sort of simple printing for this. And I made sure just that my first letter of each word was a larger letter. And so then the other letters in the words I kind of kept the same height but a little lower than the first letter. So that's my very basic hand lettering for you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone that you think would enjoy these tutorials, then please do share the video with your friends or on your social media as well. And I'd love to see the projects that you create. So if you do one of these paintings, then you could post it on Instagram and tag me with my username, Laura Ashton Artist. See you next week.